My name is Peter Lingola. I'm a journalist from Pacific Island News Association. My question is directed to Maria Polobola. You explained the government's importation bill is going very high due to imports of agricultural produce from overseas. What are your thoughts on the Fijian government's campaign in promoting Fijian-made products?
Thank you. My name is Maurice Wilson. I'm from Cardi, and we're based in Trinidad, the head office. I thought that the ambassador's comments hit the nail on the head from the standpoint that although much of the panel spoke about increased production and markets, value chains, the regular stuff, I thought maybe they needed to have, remembering the context of the session is resilience. Resilience is the key theme here. And I thought they basically panel just stopped short of saying, and I listened to how these activities on policy and increased production efficiencies could actually contribute to sustainable resilience. As I said, this is the theme here. I thought maybe I began to think about the document prepared by the JAGDIO, called the JAGDIO Initiative, which sort of puts some of the things in perspective. Fundamentally, if we are to attain sustainable resilience, we have to make investments that bring about competitiveness, increased productivity. JAGDIO, I will just identify two elements that came to mind here. One is investment in research, because it is investment in research that promotes our initiatives which could attain sustainable competitiveness and productivity. The other one of the panelists spoke about public-private sector collaboration and initiatives. And although that was mentioned, I would have liked to hear how increased collaboration, how people thought that increased collaboration between the public and private sector would contribute to sustainable resilience.
Foreign affairs and trade in Australia, and Australia is the chair of the G20 this year. It's a group of some of the 20 most biggest powerful nations, and it's doing a review about what that organisation has done on food security. So are there any advice that you can offer, or what the G20 might be able to do to contribute best to food and nutrition security for the small island states? If there's no time in the panel, feel free to come and see me during the conference. We'd love to hear your opinions.
Thank you very much. And any? Yes.
Morning, my name is Evans Gooding from CAFAN, Caribbean Farmers Network, out of Grenada. To Mr. Green and the gentleman from Pacific, is it possible to have what we call a model farm in order to move to think in terms of food security, food nutrition, resilience, where you could have a model farm that we could develop sustainable food, especially root crop, whereby both the Caribbean and Pacific could learn from each other. If you take, for example, the product Coca-Cola, the company Coca-Cola, any part of the world you go and you buy a Coke, it's basically the same flavor within. Coca-Cola developed the brand, but they sell the brand to all other countries around the world. Looking in terms of the Pacific and the Caribbean, and you have resource institutions caddy. If you take 2 or 3 root crop and you use other small farmers organization and use, say, potato and saying, I want you on that organization or that acre, develop potato and do all the research you could do in Puerto Rico, and we have to take climate change into consideration as far as it is changing. And we take all the data you could collect from this and we look at the yield or whatever it is in potato and say, okay, this is fine, this is model, this we could use and we could, from that, develop as much protein we could. Choose some place in the Pacific or one of the islands in the Caribbean, along with the research institution saying, from now on, all the small farmers that you're growing, let this be your co-crop, whatever you want. But in order for us to do trade, in order for us to export, we're going to look in terms of using this model that we developed here to expand on whatever we're doing. And when we see success story, let's say in one crop that we choose, whether it's potato, dashing, yam, tanya, and actually have this model. So when I go from here to Fuji and I want to talk in terms of potato, I know exactly where I'm going because the Pacific and the Caribbean have this chain together, so we know where we're going to get that model. Is it possible?
All right, I think I'm afraid we can't probably take many more questions because we are running out of time. So what I suggest is maybe we could ask Maria to answer the specific questions, and then I would ask each panel member to give just 1 minute response and address the questions that are of interest to them. So Maria, there was a very specific question to you.
Okay, I'm going to be very brief. Yes, the promotion and the campaign, by Fiji Made, that is very good because one of the things was there was a reduction in terms of the importation, particularly for the food side, which is good. And tied to the reduction in the importation, really, it has brought up Fiji's competitiveness. That's something that needs to be understood in this context. I mean, yes, you're reducing importation. Maybe that's not the solution, but the fact is that Fiji is able to be very competitive in producing these products that they no longer require that importation from overseas market. And we are not only talking about, fruits and vegetables in here, we are talking about other products as well. So yes, the issue in terms of competitiveness, yes, there's quite a lot that has gone into in terms of investment, in terms of also infrastructure to increase that competitiveness of Fiji company for them to able to produce that goods which were normally imported from overseas markets.
Jethro?
Yes, don't be fooled. If you examine all the rich countries, the first thing they did was to build their food security. I just recently heard a British minister simply telling the British population to buy British apples. The reality is we need to copy from the rich countries. Any country that wants to maintain any form of security must build at least a minimum level of food and nutrition security. I don't care, it must be built on your own resources. The reality is that there would always be problem in agriculture. If you look all about, you go on the World Wide Web, everything has been researched, everything is documented. No shortage in information. What there is a shortage is practical action. So therefore, my advice is to look at the good practice. I stopped using the word best practice because what is best today, what is good today might not be good tomorrow. Look at good practices, best practices. Build on the success stories. The problem in agriculture would be here for a million years from now. All the problems, all the issues. But the success stories is what we need to build on in order to build resilience. And I'm not interested in the broad theoretical framework. Yes, I am interested in that. I'm a scholar. But the point is, what interests me is what are the practical actions that show results that we can build up and scale up. And this is the thing I challenge our partner, Citi, to work with us towards, and which they're doing. And finally, let me say this. We have started a concept of setting up climate smart business farms as modelers, okay, in the Caribbean, in order to test some of the theories that you're talking about, new strategies in climate agriculture resilience. But we have to link our agriculture to food and nutrition. You ask, what the G8 need to do? The G20 need to help farmers throughout the world build the capacity of farmers so that agriculture can be linked to nutrition. People must begin to grow foods within their own backyard, within the school gardens, not only depending on farmers. And the whole system must be linked in order to show resilience. Because at the end of the day, if we do not take the food distribution and management out of the hands of just profit making, we're going to always have food shortage and a lot of starvation.